I'd like also to take this opportunity of thanking Mr. Ventura and Mr. Khan and their colleagues who, on a visit I made to Wales yesterday, gave me a crash course in understanding the challenges and the implications of Wales estate. I must say, after listening to Mr. Ventura and Mr. Khan, I'm not sure there is anything I can say this afternoon that is of any interest to you. I'll just discuss briefly the various points that I think are particularly relevant from my presentation. I want to start with an extract from the report of the Commission of Inquiry, dated October 2015. And two bullet points. I wouldn't read the whole thing. It said, Commission has thought it prudent not to make a recommendation on closure of estates at this time. And secondly, the Commission of Inquiry has deemed that a continued state-run Gaisuko in its present form and structure is strategically unacceptable. The COI also, by the same consensus, recognized that it was not in a position to determine the closure of any estates. And that is Volume 1, page 45, penultimate paragraph of the Commission of Inquiry report, which is in 3 parts, and I believe it's all on the internet. Now, following the report of the Commission of Inquiry, which was covered reasonably extensively in the media, there was a statement issued by the government of Guyana, January 2016. In a broad analysis, it said Wales is by far the state in poorest shape. The details of its performance include, and I think that has been covered already, the state of infrastructure, bridges, cultivation factory, etc. It also said that diverting funds from other estates to keep Wales afloat would seriously jeopardize the future of those estates, and it is impossible to make sugar production at Wales viable. Now, what it did not do, and that is absolutely mind-boggling, and I'm not criticizing the Commission of Inquiry here, but I'm criticizing the government and Gaisuko for their failure to do an impact assessment. We have heard in very dramatic, and we saw in very emotional terms, what the impact of this is going to be. When I visited Wales yesterday, I had a chance to observe the workforce and the community, male, female, Afro, Indo-Guyanese, young, old, and in between, single mothers and parents with several children. What are the alternatives available for them? Nobody's thinking of that. I find that mind-boggling. The significant role of and the implications for the private cane farmers, their banks, and their suppliers. No consideration of the characteristics of the land. To think that you can just move from one thing to another, I admit I'm just a bookkeeper, but I do believe that there must be certain characteristics that would be peculiar to the land. And, of course, the economic and social impact of the community of in excess of 100,000 persons. You can't just treat that with a bland statement that is not entirely accurate. The decision is clearly premature. It was not properly thought out. It was poorly communicated. As I said, it has not looked at the implications either for the community or for the corporation itself. What is it going to do with the assets? What are the additional costs and technical considerations in moving to outlook? And Mr. Ventura dealt with those points. And let's say that this decision is not going to deal with the tremendous costs, head office costs, of Gaisuko, which runs to close to $2 billion a year. It's probably the second largest loss in Gaisuko. Now, I have read the Commission of Inquiry. In fact, I did a presentation to the Commission of Inquiry, and I thought, in Guyana, we have made two fundamental mistakes as we talk about sugar. We keep comparing the cost of production in Guyana with the international market price. Now, there is not a country in the world that is not heavily subsidizing. Whether you just go on the internet, whether it's Brazil, whether it's India, whether it's America, whether it's European, everywhere, Kenya, everywhere. I could not find an exception. The second thing is this: to treat sugar as you would treat a company focusing on the financial rate of return and ignoring the economic rate of return. And this is recognized on page 21 of Volume 1 of the report of the Commission of Inquiry. And it's disappointing that the section written by Professor Clive Thomas dealt only with the financial return of Wales Estate and Gaisoko rather than the economic considerations. Statements addressing the government statements, Wales is by far the estate in the poorest shape. Well, it's a matter of fact, and we've told that has been debunked. That diverting funds from estates to keep Wales afloat would seriously jeopardize the future of those estates. The reality is this: not a single one of the estates is making a profit. So any issue of diverting funds from any one of them to another is clearly mistaken. Now, and let me read what the Commission of Inquiry said, paragraph 5.9, paragraph 5.14, volume 1. Skeldon was responsible for the decline in Gaisoko's financial position, leading to its present state of insolvency. And paragraph 5.9 said, concluded that estates from Iflock to Albion suffered as a consequence. So it's not that Wales is bleeding Gaisoko, it's the other way.